Hello, beautiful souls. One change to tell you about for weekly messages. I've been doing two additional oracles for the third eye and crown chakra pile, and instead I'm going to put timestamps for those. They're at the very end. So I'll put timestamps for those in the description also in case anybody wants to choose a different pile but still wants to hear those messages. One of them is the Rumi Oracle, which is particularly useful for anyone who's going through a love separation. Um, and that can be if you're actually in a connection, but you're in separation, if you identify as twin flame separation, or if you simply feel that longing for a divine counterpart, but they haven't come into your life yet. I find the Rumi Oracle to be particularly healing in these situations. And then there's also a Lightworker's Oracle. So, in addition to your particular chakra group, feel free to look at either of those weekly messages if you want something additional. They're both kind of deep, you know. they're they go deep is all I'm gonna say. But if you're interested, feel free to check that out. Other than that, we've got the regular groups: one for root chakra, one for sacral chakra, one for solar plexus, one for heart, for throat, and then for third eye and crown. And feel free to pick as many as you want. Um, I let spirit choose the decks. So there's one, each one does a little bit of shadow work. And then each one has a spirit chosen deck for a tarot card and 3 oracle cards. So they're different every week and they're different from each other. So feel free to choose more than one, or if you listen to one and it just doesn't resonate with you, feel free to try a different one. Pause if you need to. Take as long as you like to decide which chakra or chakras that you would like to focus on this week. And then I will see you for your messages. Hello, Group 1. If you decided to focus on your root chakra this week, then these are your messages. And you may hear dog sounds in the background during this video. Let's see if I can show you. We have company. Hello, Hannah. Oh, oh, the cuteness. Okay. But you might hear her snuffling and stuff in the background. If you're curious, she's Havanese and she's a rescue. And she knows I'm talking about her, so she's getting around and moving. And I swear she's a cat in a dog's body, which is why I like her. It's like the perfect pair. Anyway, your messages. Well, maybe. And I had to move everything because I didn't want to disturb her. And usually I'm like further over. And things are not quite level. But we'll make do. I like having her here. So. Okay, first we have acceptance. That's always a fun topic. Yeah, that's still in frame. Is that better? I think that's better. Okay. So let's see what our message from Spirit is. Acceptance. Cherry heart. When I accept myself, I find love. The legend. Cherry loves her work as a waitress, but feels that something is missing from her life. She has a boyfriend, yet she senses that he is unfaithful. One day, a customer orders cherry pie. Cherry cuts a slice and sighs to a friend that her life is like that pie, with a slice missing. Her friend remarks that maybe Cherry is a heart-shaped pie. Cherry's perspective changes. So you can think about it like this. So the pie with a piece missing, if you turn it, it'd be easier if the perspective of the pie was different, but then it kind of looks like a heart with the piece missing if you put the empty space on top. Cherry's perspective changes. She leaves her boyfriend and later meets a man who makes her happy. Inspiration. A magical box of self-acceptance appears before you. Your unique qualities reside within. Open it. Are things simple now? Cherry Heart invites you to see yourself as complete, just as you are. Questions to ask yourself this week. Am I assessing myself accurately, or am I distorting my reality in a self-defeating way? Can I simply accept myself? Key ideas. New ways of seeing yourself, embracing imperfection, feeling incomplete, selling yourself short. Keywords: manifesting, knowledge, and luck. And the recommended meditation for the week. With your mind's eye, imagine Cherry Heart. She's glad you came to see her and wishes to give you a slice of pie. See the slice you feel has been missing from your life. Allow it to become the gift you've always desired. Let your feelings create a new awareness for you. When you are ready, write down your new awareness. I like that. I wasn't expecting the card to be about self-acceptance. I thought it was going to be more along the lines of surrender, which of course, if you watch the love separation video that I made for the Rumi weekly message, then you'll know that's been a big topic for me of late. Okay, next we have I have to figure out where the new glare spots are. Okay. Rebirth with a butterfly. So this deck, in addition to the 7 chakras, it also includes the Earth Star chakra. And actually I can show you using the back of the card. Actually, I can show you using the back of the book, and that'll be even easier. Yeah. So at the bottom, it has this that it calls the Earth Star chakra. And then it also has another one at the top. I think it's the Soul Star chakra. Yeah, Soul Star chakra. So when I pull cards for the decks, I shuffle for the first one that either matches the chakra pile or is an Earth Star or Soul Star. I take anything from the 3 groups. And in this case, y'all got an Earth Star chakra card, Rebirth. You have pulled this card as a sign that you are currently undergoing a rebirth. It is a powerful awakening and healing process that comes in many different forms and is a big part of your life's journey. Everything has a divine timing. Nothing lasts forever. Things have a beginning and an end, a divine knowing when it's time to move, create, and time to be still. Something in your life is ending and something very positive is awakening within you. It's time to let go of anything that is not supporting you or serving you at this point as you open and receive new energies that are being offered. Moving beyond your comfort zone and into a new sphere of opportunity can be uncomfortable, challenging, or painful. But remember that you are guided and supported by the light of your soul and the universe, which brings positive change and experiences. You have planted seeds of new opportunity and have been nurturing them, and now it's time for them to sprout, grow, and flower into existence. Be kind and gentle during this process, and be sure to water the seeds with love and graciousness. You have been waiting patiently for this time of change and new beginnings to arrive, so bathe in its glory. Start something new or embark on a project you have been pondering over. There may also be some new inspiration coming through for you at this time. Take a moment to connect with your inner voice and listen to what your soul is sharing with you. You could also be birthing a new aspect of yourself. Whatever the process is for you right now, be sure to embrace this opportunity and enjoy the new energy that is available to you. Affirmation: I am completely supported in my current rebirth, and I am open to the magic of the universe birthing within me. I think this ties in beautifully with the acceptance card, by the way. So if you think about how she was missing the slice of pie, and when she looked at it differently and saw that instead it was in the shape of a heart, she decided to let go of the relationship that wasn't good for her. And as she understood her own worth, she was able to bring in a new relationship that was good for her. And I think the idea behind rebirth is very similar. Something that you are letting go of to receive something better. Next, we have our shadow card. We'll look at it right side up first. Two of Pentacles. And we're going to look at the shadow aspects of this card. As a reminder, shadow simply refers to the voice of our ego, which is natural and normal. Accepting a human life means contending and work, and by contending I mean working with, like, it's a challenge, and we're meant to overcome the challenge by working with the ego. You can't get rid of it, or and you don't want to squash it. Like, suppressing it isn't good either. The idea is to work with it, and that's how I see shadow work. And to be honest, the more light comes out inside of you, the more shadows you'll be able to see. So yeah, you can't ever get rid of the shadows, but you can learn to be conscious of them and aware of them and work with them and process them in a healthy way so that your soul and ego can work in harmony. So for the Two of Pentacles, with all those roles and responsibilities that you've been juggling, you may be feeling a little imbalanced. Busy much? Maybe your calendar is totally overbooked and you're feeling the stress of being stretched in too many directions. You may be feeling the need to better balance dualities or opposing aspects of your life, your time alone versus your time with others, or your material life versus your spiritual life, etc. Make sure you aren't investing too many resources in one area at the expense of another, especially when both are equally as important. Even though this card suggests that you're likely able to manage it all, do you desire this much juggling? Put some of your precious energy into creating a balance that you absolutely love, one that will allow you time to work, play, love, and create. This equilibrium will not take from your reserves of energy, but will add to it. The shadow side of this card: being out of balance, disharmony, committing to too many things, a need to prioritize, a time to slow down. So try to pay attention this week if any of those things are cropping up, and just be aware of it and try to shift either your perspective or the situation to the light side of the card, which is balancing many aspects of self, juggling obligations, equilibrium, seeking harmony. And the affirmation that you can use to help you with this: I create an equilibrium in my life that allows me to be my best self. And this also does tie into this whole thing over here, where if you're letting go of something to let something better come in, that may be part of achieving this balance and harmony. Maybe right now something is out of balance in your life and not in harmony, and that's why these two cards are coming up. And then this is reminding you to bring things into equilibrium. Your next tarot card is the World, so I'm guessing you're going to be successful. Keywords: completion, end of a cycle, achievement, goals, travel, success. The World is the final card in the major arcana. It symbolizes completion, achievement, and fulfillment. This card generally indicates that a cycle is coming to a close, heralding a new phase in life. Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio are represented on this card as emissaries of the four elements, the four seasons, and the four corners of the universe. The dancer, surrounded by a wreath of victory, looks out on the world with the experience and perspective of the road already traveled. In the present position, this card indicates that your work is coming to fruition, though it may be difficult for you to currently see things in a positive light. Or perhaps you have seen a cycle complete and are feeling the full weight of a new responsibility. Maybe a promotion has come at the end of a lot of hard work, or a new child or home represents hopes and dreams manifested, but is still a lot of work. If you see the World in the past position of a reading, which it's not, it's in the present position, so we're going to leave it there. See if there's anything else. We'll go ahead and read the future position also. In the future position, this card reminds you to hold on and that all your work and investment will pay off even if you can't see it coming together yet. And this may be indicating in this case, if you're able to let go of whatever it is you need to let go of in order to bring things into balance, then this fulfillment is the outcome. Okay. Everything else was about either reading it reversed or if it's paired with other cards, which is not relevant in this situation. All right. So for your first oracle, we have the frequency of communication. And I have to look at the color on it. Yeah. I have two sacred geometry oracles, and they're very similar to each other. Yeah. So, as a comparison, the only difference is the color is slightly different. And it looks more different on camera than it looks in real life. I'll just tell you that right now. So, communication. Let's see our letter from Spirit. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many forms, many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart, the center of our truth, to stay in the flow of source and balanced exchange. Communication is the process of sharing information between a sender and a recipient. For humans, this usually takes place through spoken and written words, gestures, behaviors, or touch, but it can also happen through the more subtle languages like chemistry and energetics. Communication is at the core of all relations, whether interpersonal, between people, or the way in which our inner world and body talk to us. While words have predominantly been the way humankind has communicated for most of its modern history, the new energy invites us, even requires us, to develop our abilities to receive, translate, and share the messages that arise from the depths of us. Most of these messages will emerge as feelings and intuitive thought, and we might find that the words we have been using for so long hold far more complex and subtle energies than we had ever imagined. And that leads to realizing more expanded and subtle meanings as well. The dolphins that swirl inside the four circles of this activation are representative of the mastery of relations. They support the awakening and developing of subtle communications while reminding us to keep a playful attitude as we learn these new skills. Meanwhile, the number 4 represents the form based world in which we live. It is a reminder of the importance of applying all that we learn to the reality we collectively choose to create on this plane. The triangles in the middle represent the inner union and balance between the feminine and the masculine. The upward large triangle symbolizes the connection to source, and the abundant blues indicate an open throat chakra, so clear and unrestricted that communication flows effortlessly. Greens represent the presence of an open heart, allowing love and compassion to pour into the external without restriction and boundaries. The turquoise represents the high heart, the place where the energies from the heart and those from the throat merge into the loving expression of truth. And the surrounding deep purple space represents the origin of clear, insightful perception through an open third eye. Try this. Take a moment to go inside and feel what your body is communicating to you. Is it happy? Is it sad? Is there any pain? There is great messaging in pain. Are you listening to that communication? How do you communicate with the outer world? Are you kind and wise with your words when you speak with others? Are you sending positive messages to yourself? So the positive messages bit ties back into the self-acceptance. And this recommendation for going inside to communicate with your own inner self may help you understand what you need to bring into equilibrium or let go in order to allow for the rebirth, all of which lead to fulfillment and success. Your next oracle is Serenity. The most important relationship you can have is with yourself. This is a time to honor, nurture, and love yourself more by seeking out and removing any negative feelings and emotions that are left over from yesterday. So, here we have a suggestion for what you need to release in order to allow for rebirth. Don't let past issues and resentments interfere with your serenity today. We here in the spirit world sent you this card to remind you not to feel overwhelmed at this time. Sometimes the answers are not readily available, so it's a matter of living one day at a time, as this will assist you in letting go of the past and all the negativity associated with it. The past no longer serves your highest good, and it can prevent you from achieving the serenity that you've been so desperately seeking. You've learned from your past mistakes and the lessons they've shown you. Letting go of what no longer serves you enables us to help you even more. We're aware of the fears or insecurities you may be experiencing right now. When you take the time to let go of and disperse those unwanted thoughts, Divine guidance can find its way to you from Spirit, giving you peace of mind. Find comfort and courage in knowing that you're not alone. We're connected to you forever. Next, we have the Tao Oracle. This is an I Ching, so when we toss for changes, then we might find out what you're letting go of. The card is limitation. Nature imposes limits on all things, causing energy to build up from within. In fact, without limitations, it is impossible to maximize our potential. When we understand, accept, and apply limitations, it can be very effective in bringing about a transformation. Water unchecked has a tendency to spread and lose itself into the ground. When it is restrained by a dam, it becomes a tremendous source of energy. For humans, limitations can often be experienced as frustrating, but without the limits imposed on us by life, by our teachers, or by certain disciplines and practices, we would never grow. Limitations can be immensely productive and strengthening if you can work with them rather than fight against them. A harness can feel like a restraint or a support. It depends on you. It will be helpful at this time to remember that practice makes perfect, and even if we accept that attaining perfection is an impossibility, most of us still strive toward it. It is through the process of striving that you will mature, not by actually attaining the object of your striving. And when discipline is willingly taken on, self imposed rather than endured because of external pressure or coercion, it will nourish your growth and deepen your maturity. It's also useful to remember that becoming really good at anything requires practice and repeated effort. Developing a finely honed technique or a finely tuned awareness and sensitivity can take many years of discipline. Once the technique is mastered, it must in turn eventually be transcended if the growth and change is to continue. Gathering knowledge and building expertise are, at one stage, goals. At another stage, this same knowledge and expertise become limitations. And along the way, a good deal of knowledge will be forgotten, but what remains will be well and truly your own. There are meditation practices that require simply sitting, relaxed, and observing the breath for hours on a daily basis. It sounds so mindless, a no-brainer, which is precisely the goal such techniques are intended to achieve. However, attaining a state of serenity and equipoise in spite of a mosquito on the nose, or in the mind for that matter, can take years, even lifetimes of discipline. And once it is attained, then what? There must begin a new set of challenges for growth to continue, and these challenges are often those that bring the meditator back from the extraordinary refinement of retreat into the ordinary world of daily life. Just as testing your own serenity in the chaos of the marketplace exposes the depth of your self-discipline, so does the manner in which you respond to the limitations that arise in the natural cycles of the Tao. Few things are more indicative of understanding or more revealing of what has been deeply assimilated and absorbed into your being in more relaxed and expansive times. So let's evaluate for changes. And our two symbols on this card are the abysmal is the top symbol, and the bottom symbol is the joyous or lake. And we've got, starting from the bottom, yang, yang, yin, yin, yang, yin. So the way this works, if you haven't seen this in a reading yet, is you toss 3 coins, 3 tails. So if a line is a yang line and you toss 3 heads, that matches the yang energy, and so that means that line is changing. And if you're dealing with a yin line, tossing 3 tails means it's changing. So the first line is yang, so we're looking for 3 heads. I wonder if I can do this on camera. And that's a no, so that stays the same. This is basically to see if the energy is in motion and changing into something else. Next one stays the same. You probably can't see it, but we have tails, tails, heads. Next, we're looking for 3 tails. Nope. Next, we're looking for 3 tails again. Nope. Now we're looking for 3 heads. Nope. And we were looking for 3 tails and no. So this energy is a stable energy in your life this week. And it's an interesting take on limitations, I think, because it's not about getting rid of limitations. It's recognizing which ones are useful, which ones aren't, and using them to your benefit without letting them hold you back. Maybe something to let go of is, well, we already had something to let go of and letting go of negative ideas about the past. And here it may be about letting go of negative ideas about limitations. Oh, and at the bottom of the card it says self-discipline, practice, self-respect, introspection, ritual, cultivate patience, build up energy, maturity. And what? This is serendipitous. Spirit guardian of autumn, letting go. You guys should definitely go watch my love separation video, because it is, I was particularly struggling with letting go, and I got some pretty significant insight from Spirit that helped me make a pretty big breakthrough with that. So that's something you might find useful this week whenever you see this. The Spirit Guardian of Autumn says, relinquish control and let Spirit take over. You don't need to do everything yourself. Release whatever in life doesn't serve you. Clutter clear your life. Simply open your heart, let go, and allow Spirit to help and support you. And finally, our little messages. You may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. That fits in. Spread your creative wings and take flight. Perseverance, stay the course. Inner power. I cannot read that from an angle. By your own command, you brought yourself here. At this moment in life, you have nothing to fear. And our final chakra card, you got grounding. That kind of goes with the Earth Star chakra energy. There's a grounding card for that. Anyway, sink your roots deep, connect them to the heart of the earth. And it says red jasper here, so that's a stone you might find useful this week. All right, that's all your messages for this week, group 1. Good luck with everything. Keep your soul shining. Remember, your soul is beautiful, perfect. You're a being of light and love. I love all of you. Bye. Hello, beautiful souls. If you've decided to focus on your sacral chakra this week, then these are your messages. And had to adjust everything because my dog decided she was going to hang out with us today. Trying not to bump the camera. Let's see if I can show her to you. Here she is. Hello, Hannah. I knew that would throw it off. There we go. Okay. Your messages. Save the little ones for the end. And as a reminder, which of course I forgot to say in the first group, my recommendation with these is to listen in the morning and the evening if you can, and try to pay attention to what comes up during the week. And in the evening is a good time to journal about any synchronicities you notice in your life. It's a good way to develop a conversation with spirit. And your first card is passion. So let's see what our letter from spirit is for this card. Princess of Amber. Apparently this is my card. I quietly sizzle and shine. The legend. The Princess of Amber spends her time volunteering. No person or task is beneath her. She loves her subjects and looks after them like a loyal servant. When the newspapers criticize her, her family begs her to behave more like royalty. She refuses. The people hold a free election and, to the surprise of the aristocracy, vote for the princess as their new leader. Inspiration. You are correct to feel passionate about your position. Follow your instincts, for you know intuitively what is right for you. Questions to ask yourself this week. Are my daily actions supporting my real passion? What am I willing to stand for? Key ideas. Following your passion. Being authentic. Taking a stand for yourself. Being acknowledged. Possibly feeling ostracized by family and friends. Being emotionally centered. Strong feminine energy. A happy outcome. Keywords: passion, bravery, and royalty. A meditation you can use this week. Ask yourself the following questions. What is my greatest strength? What are my challenges? How do I serve others? How can I serve myself? What represents love in my life? Close your eyes and invite the Princess of Amber to take a walk with you. What does she reveal to you? It's an interesting start. Curious to see if the rest of the cards connect. Your next card is Soul Healing. So these cards are a mixture of the chakras, and then they also include an extra at the bottom that is the Earth Star, and an extra at the top that is the Soul Star. And this is a Soul Star card. When I shuffle for these messages, for each pile, I take whatever first card comes out that either matches the chakra color or is an earth star or soul star. And this week, y'all have a soul star. 35. You have called upon this card today as deep soul healing is at hand. Your soul is the all powerful conscious aspect of your being and is currently undergoing a healing process. This awakening can sometimes stir things up in your life as it creates the change required to expand to a higher state of awareness. You are undergoing a rite of passage where the things that are not working in your life are being reviewed. Know that this chaos is a positive thing. It is what is required at this time. There is a divine order to this chaos, and you are being asked to trust, listen, and action the loving guidance from your soul. Your soul holds the medicine for you to heal and knows what's best for you. It is a time of deep cleansing, and you are encouraged to let go of the old as you make way for the new. Soul healing allows for healing on all levels of your being: emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental. A complete cleansing on all levels, aspects, and states of being. Be very gentle and kind to yourself as you transit through this very powerful and important time. Be sure to nurture yourself through this process, giving yourself lots of love and care. Listen to the messages your body and soul are offering you and follow through on this guidance. Amazing awakening is happening for you right now, and soon you will reap the rewards. Know that the process you are currently undergoing is a powerful injection of positive light from your soul as you heal deeply. The affirmation for this week: I open to receive deep soul healing now and embrace the support of pure love to guide my healing journey. It sounds like shadow work will be useful this week. And as a reminder, shadow work just refers to processing input from your ego in a healthy way, bringing your ego and soul into healthy conjunction. Hannah's playing with the cards accidentally. Um, Having input from the ego is simply a part of human incarnation. It's not something that, we can get rid of or even that we need to get rid of. It's just good to be aware of it and integrate it and process it in a healthy way that contributes to our light. And the thing is the more your inner light, she knocked him over. The more your inner light comes out, the more shadows you're able to see. And that's a good thing. Just helps us, like when the ego is driving without awareness, like that's when it's a bad thing, but it's not bad in and of itself. Without the ego, we couldn't learn anything. So you have the world, but we're going to be looking at the shadow aspects of it today. The world brings one of the most positive and abundant messages in the tarot. Congratulations, you've come so far. A large project or period in your life is coming to a successful conclusion, and it's time to revel in the sweet afterglow of your success. If you're not quite there yet, take this card as a sign that you're on the right path. Consciously step into the world's ascension energy and welcome this beautiful shift as your inner spiritual landscape merges with your outer reality. As you reach this stage of fruition, remain focused. Don't slacken your resolve as you glimpse the magic at the end of the long journey, because it's time to follow through with your final steps and complete the cycle. Even in shadow, the world is a positive card that signals bliss and happy endings with oodles of positive energy on the way. The shadow side says taking shortcuts, a need for closure, a need to follow through, staying focused in order to complete an unfinished task, a delay in plans, or unmet dreams. And this could simply be referring to this week that this is what's waiting for you. Like as you go through the soul healing process, you'll become more aware of what your true passion and soul purpose is. And that's when this success that's waiting in the sidelines will be able to come in. But if you see any of those shadow sides coming up this week, then just try to be aware of it and think about shifting the energy or the situation to the light side of the card, which is completion, joy, wholeness, achievement, happy endings, abundance, success, new levels of consciousness, literally traveling the world. And in this case, it may simply be that when you feel you're not to that point of completion yet, simply remind yourself that you're going through this healing process and that it's okay to wait. And the affirmation you can use: I accept this gift of completion and I ascend to new levels of awareness and wholeness. I am love. And that certainly ties in with the message of this card about this healing process being a gateway to an ascension, a level up in essence. Next, we have a tarot card for you. The Six of Wands. Let's see if I can... Let's see, the embossing on this one is, it's just the star that has embossing. I can actually use the glare to show the embossing. And the Six of Wands, that's victory, man. So I think maybe in this week you're like kind of finishing up this healing stage that you've been in. Let's see what the Quantum Tarot has to say about the Six of Wands. Stars evolve when condensing clouds of dust and gas are ignited by nuclear fusion. Oh, that's what's pictured in the card, just a star. Although you can kind of see this image of a man on a horse or a woman on a horse, someone riding to victory. But the star is what's highlighted. Once this fusion process is stable, the star will continue to shine for billions of years. The birth of a star is a long process that ends with a sudden outpouring of energy. The Six of Wands symbolizes this exceptional moment, but also reminds us of the long period of work that has gone into our success. It reminds us to enjoy our victories. Although the moment of glory may pass, its legacy is lasting, leaving an increased sense of confidence and self-belief. And the question to ask yourself this week: are you making the most of your moment to shine? All right, Oracle cards. First, we have abundance. And this is from the Relationship Sacred Geometry deck. Affirmation: I am abundant. Feeling abundant is a state of mind that fluctuates under the influence of our consciousness and the focus of our attention. Of course, our ability to guarantee our physical survival and safety is paramount. After that, our sense of fulfillment has less to do with what we have and more to do with our ability to cultivate our sense of abundance. Our capacity to view life from a positive perspective is crucial, and so is our comprehension that we are significant contributors through our thoughts, words, and actions to what and who shows up in our lives. Feeling connected to a higher power, to the universe, God, Spirit, strengthens our ability to feel abundant, as our feeling of being loved and our sense of belonging to something larger than ourselves fills our heart and soul. Abundance and relationship. We all desire abundance, abundance of money and success, and abundance of relationships. The first two usually have to do with the physical world of matter, of stuff. The third is all about what fills our heart and soul. And what really fills our heart and soul seldom has to do with anything material. Our deepest sense of fulfillment comes from feeling loved for who we are, to believe that we are seen, touched, heard, understood, and accepted. We are social creatures. We thrive on deep and meaningful connections with others. We can feel enormously abundant through the authentic interest and loving care someone shows us. And with the sense of feeling loved comes an undeniable sense of prosperity and abundance. Food for thought. Do you feel abundant? What aspects in your life make you feel abundant? We can cultivate a feeling of abundance by focusing on all the riches in our lives instead of obsessing over the things we believe we lack, the things outside ourselves that we desire to fulfill us. Can you think of 3 things that you are grateful for? How about 3 things that you are really good at? And 3 things that someone else did for you that were kindnesses. So it looks like you're going through a healing. And as you come to the end of that process, this fulfillment will be coming in. You'll be figuring out your passion, leading to victory and abundance. Very promising messages. Next, we have poised. This fits in quite well. 48. Essential meanings: being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best, confidence. The Oracle's message: you can be assured that you are ready for anything right now. You know what you need to, your skills are sharp, you've come to this place armed with wisdom and knowledge, and you sense a new phase of your life about to begin. People respond to your confidence and trust you. This is an auspicious time to begin new things. Next, new moon in Scorpio. Work through your fears. This card suggests a rebirth. Think of your situation as the phoenix that's rising from the ashes, as the birth, death, rebirth paradigm. That's what Scorpio energy is all about. Whatever you've been through, there's a new start ahead. It might be a little dark. It almost certainly won't be rainbows and unicorns, but it will be deep and transforming. This card also suggests that if you know you are magical, then this is the time to work your magic. It can also herald the start of a sexier time. That works well with the sacral chakra. If you've been experiencing something of a drought and emotional intimacy is then emotional intimacy. Let me change. Start again. I got the phrasing wrong. It can also herald the start of a sexier time if you've been experiencing something of a drought, and emotional intimacy is also on the menu. I want this pile. Can I have this pile? I need that card. My 7-month drought needs to end. Overshare. Scorpio is the sign that likes to go deep into body, mind, and spirit. So when this card comes up, there's nothing superficial about what's coming your way. Scorpio is the sign of death and rebirth, magic and shamans. Its energy is a little bit dark, occult, even scary. Not all of us like to face the shadow, but Scorpio demands it. In fact, it's through working through your dark side that you can get to the light. And the new moon in Scorpio and the appearance of this card at any time suggests you need to do that now. And again, this all just ties into the message of the soul healing card. Finally, ooh, this is perfect. Spirit Guardian of Spring, activation. The Spirit Guardian of Spring says, get ready. Big changes are ahead. Things that have been incubating are now coming to life. A profound transformation is ahead. Take risks, keep going, prepare for this time of upheaval, fluctuations, and renewal, and the end result will be glorious. That is the perfect punctuation to your reading. All your cards are definitely saying the same thing, so that's exciting. I hope someone sees this and it resonates and you leave me a comment telling me about it because I would love to hear your story. All right, final messages. Reflection. See all aspects of yourself through the reflection of the one who mirrors your hidden self. So this could refer to a person if you are in a relationship where you see mirroring happening. And it can also reflect to I lost that thought. Let me see if I get it back. What was that, Spirit? Look to your higher self. If there isn't someone that you're experiencing mirroring with, go within and look to your higher self and bring out anything that's hidden about your higher self. Oh, it's about finding your passion. That's what it's talking about. That's what the message from Spirit is talking about. Buttercup, be ready. The best is on its way. Richness. Search further. The deeper you explore this issue, the more truth you will find. It will be well worth the effort. That also goes with that message I was getting about going within yourself to find any aspects of your higher self that have been hidden. Yes. Kiss the ground and touch the sky. Your soul is set now to leap and to fly. And your final chakra card, creation. The flames of destruction will ignite a rebirth. More synchronicity. And the stone here is fire agate. So if that's something you have, that's something you might want to have around you or wear this week. Okay, group 2, those are your messages. I hope you found something helpful. And if anything comes up during the week where these messages are resonating and you're seeing synchronicities, any stories you have to tell, I'd love to hear them. Remember, you have a beautiful and perfect soul. Let it shine. I love all of you. Bye. Hello, group 3. If you decided to focus on your solar plexus chakra this week, then these are your messages. I'll put your little ones away for later. As a reminder, I recommend listening to these in the morning and at night journaling about anything that came up during the day that coincides. It's a good way to stay in constant contact with spirit. Your first card is Enlightenment. Enlightenment. Topaz. If I seek peace, I must embrace my fears. The Legend. Topaz is a renowned spiritual teacher. People travel to hear his wisdom. He is journeying up a mountain to seek private counsel with the great servant when a young boy stops him. The boy asks, "If enlightenment is to be found in my own mind, how do I get there?" The moment before he disappears into the mist, Topaz replies, "Through your fears." Inspiration. At this time, your journey is more important than your destination. Remember, if you face your fear, you will grow stronger. Relief awaits. Questions to ask yourself this week. My thoughts always drive my choices. How can I use my thoughts to heal myself? Key ideas. Path to enlightenment. The reluctant sage. Taking time alone to connect. Trusting your intuition. Needing solitude. Time for reflection. So definitely all about hermit energy. Keywords: support, courage, and confidence. And a meditation you can use this week. Write down 3 fears, then close your eyes. Imagine these fears staying with you always. Then imagine them, one by one, walking in faith alongside you. Stride through the garden of fear and allow them to stay behind. What is more painful, keeping your fears or releasing them? The choice is yours. Oh, this fits well. Determination. And our letter from Spirit. This is card 16. You have called this card into your awareness today as a reminder of the power and importance of determination. This powerful energy is calling you to align with it as you bring out the determination that lies within you. Everything at some point requires that extra energy to push it to the next stage of creation. Determination and will are the keys to amplifying your desired outcome at this time. You may have been working hard on a certain project and have come to a standstill. You may have doubts, and the negative thoughts may be overshadowing your dreams. It is natural to have doubts. However, pulling this card is a sign that it's time to get focused and determined. Nothing in the world can take this dream from you. Allow the fire in your belly to rise as you bring forth the energy required to move to the next stage in your manifestation. It's time to be focused and clear on your outcome. What is it that you would like to create? What are your desires? You are the only one to make this happen, and it's important to keep your eye on the goal. Don't let it go. Do what needs to be done to make it happen. When you feel like all the odds are against you and you want to give up, know that you have the determination to succeed. This powerful energy lives inside you and is ready and waiting for you to surrender to its calling. Excuse me. The powerful energy wanted to come out. Okay. Call forth the power of determination to once again bring you into alignment with your dreams and desires. It's truly amazing what you can achieve when you put your mind to something and apply determination. This is a great trait of a champion athlete. It's time for you to be a champion and go for what you desire. An affirmation: I am unstoppable. I am an unstoppable being of love and determination. So, for our shadow work this week, and as a reminder, that just refers to influences from our ego. We are a soul incarnated in a human body, and that means ego is part of that. If incarnation is what allows our soul to learn, then ego is what allows our soul to learn. It's all about being conscious of it and incorporating it and processing it in a healthy way. And we have the Eight of Cups, but we are going to be looking at the shadow. She has released her last cup into the sea, and her bowl burning ceremony is over. Is it time to walk away from something in your life? Choosing your sacred dream, especially when you're feeling disappointed, is one of the biggest acts of self love that you can enact. When you take that very first step, you begin to choose yourself. There is nothing more healing or more powerful. Find your resolve and untether any anchors that are holding you back. Though your disillusioned heart may require some TLC, you can realign your path by shedding outgrown expectations, hopes, people, ideas, beliefs, guilt, or ways of being. If you find yourself exhausted or confused, or jumping from thing to thing, know that you are entering a mystical period of intense shifting, and that releasing old stories will help you to travel lightly. Go in the direction of epic dreams, happiness, and greater meaning. And the shadow side of this card: walking away and then regretting your choice, feeling stuck in your current reality, fears that block your momentum, and that goes back to the facing your fears card, escapism, and avoidance. So if you see any of those issues coming up for you this week, just be aware of it, think about it, see if you can shift your perspective or the situation to the light side of the card, which is letting go, releasing that which no longer serves you, a ritual releasing, a time to move stuck energy, walking away, leaving your old reality to pursue a new one, abandonment, and disappointment. And that's simply referring to the fact that whenever we choose to walk away from something, there's always a sense of loss. And it's important to acknowledge that and allow yourself to grieve the loss, because you'll move forward in a healthier and more powerful way if you do that. And an affirmation to help with that this week: I walk away from negativity and I choose myself in a rebellious act of self love. Your tarot card today comes from the Osho Zen Tarot, Going with the Flow. And I believe that is the Ace of Cups. Yep, Ace of Cups. Although in the Osho Zen Tarot, it's the Ace of Water for emotions. The figure in this card is completely relaxed and at ease in the water, letting it take him where it will. He has mastered the art of being passive and receptive without being dull or sleepy. He is just available to the currents of life with never a thought of saying, I don't like that, or I prefer to go the other way. Every moment in life we have a choice whether to enter life's waters and float, or to try to swim upstream. When this card appears, it is an indication that you are able to float now, trusting that life will support you in your relaxation and take you exactly where it wants you to go. Allowing this feeling of trust and relaxation to grow more and more, everything is happening exactly as it should. Maybe that's a fear that you're meant to confront this week. Maybe you're afraid to simply let go and go with the flow. Maybe you feel the need to fight upstream, and this is recommending that you go with the flow instead. And then the words of Osho: when I say become water, I mean become a flow. Don't remain stagnant. Move and move like water. Lao Tzu says the way of the Tao is a watercourse way. It moves like water. What is the movement of water or of a river? The movement has a few beautiful things about it. One, it always moves toward the depth. It always searches for the lowest ground. It is non-ambitious. It never hankers to be the first. It wants to be the last. Remember, Jesus says, those who are the last here will be the first in my kingdom of God. He is talking about the watercourse way of Tao, not mentioning it, but talking about it. Be the last. Be non-ambitious. Ambition means going uphill. Water goes down. It searches for the lowest ground. It wants to be a non-entity. It does not want to declare itself unique, exceptional, extraordinary. It has no ego idea. Next we have dynamic. Number 23. The frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy. The word dynamic can be described as an energetic force or process that is constantly changing. When we talk about the dynamics of something, we refer to the way it works or interacts. Now, if we add the words vibrant and full of life, we have a perfect description of what dynamic entails in the new energy. The triangular shape and color of this activation refers to the masculine aspect, which is full of direction, power, and presence. All the circular shapes refer to the infinite and flowing aspect of the feminine, while representing the mechanism of the dynamic process, one that brings together different aspects, harmonizes them, and makes them work together. The result is a process that is alive with energy, movement, color, and change. Just by witnessing this process, one automatically becomes part of it, as nothing that is witnessed remains unaffected. I think what's also interesting to think about is this card is basically describing how one can remain a person of action while still going with the flow. The activation of dynamic is about bringing together things that do not typically go together, whether it be colors, styles, words, music, and even food. With dynamic, we bring harmony wherever we go, intuitively sensing how everything works together. We shine our light brightly with vibrant color for everyone to see and experience. The deep dark blue of this activation's background indicates the depth of consciousness. There are 3 different patterns visible in the background, representing 3 different layers of consciousness and manifestation. Although completely different in origin, there is an unmistakable harmony between the way these layers come together to support the dynamic process. The square border represents the form-based reality of our earthbound life, the plane of our physical bodies, and the place where the dynamic process takes place. Try this. Get up on your feet for a moment and shake your hands. Move your body. Take a couple of breaths. Get your heart pumping, your blood flowing, and your energy moving. How does it feel? Do you feel alive? Now take a fresh look at a situation or question at hand. How does this dynamic energy feel to you now? New life. Card 39. Essential meanings. Birth of new ideas, growth, opportunities, a breath of fresh air, life renewing itself. The Oracle's message. When spring awakens the world, joy and excitement can be felt all around in your very core. Blossoms burst from trees overnight. Birds return home and sing their glorious song. And nature is full of promise. Miracles beckon all of us. This is one of those times in your life when new ideas inspire you and new opportunities bring you hope for seeing your dreams come true. All is well in your world, and you have the energy you need to feel renewed. Allow your heart to fill with enthusiasm. Let your light shine, for this is a time of good fortune. Ooh. Opening to love. My heart is open. Love is on its way. The more you open to love, the more its sweet nectar can surge through your soul. From the love of others to the love of self to love from the Creator, love flows to and through you. You are indeed a sacred vessel for love to flow through. The universe wants you to know there is nothing you need to do to deserve love. It is already waiting for you. It's like the sun, there for everyone. It's simply a matter of stepping out to bask in that warm and glowing light. Who you are is enough. This is true. In matters of romance, love is flowing, wounds are healing, and hearts are opening. If only you could see yourself as those in spirit see you, you would know how very loved you truly are. Questions to ask yourself. What is my true pathway to love? How can I open myself to love even more? What is blocking me from welcoming love? That may also tie back into the card about working through your fears. Also, you might hear my dog snoring. Let's see here. Yeah, there she is. So that snoring sound, yeah, that would be the sound of snoring. All right. Now I have to get my camera back in position. There we go. Okay. And finally, we have the foggy bog, patience. The spirit of the foggy bog says, have patience. Wait until the fog lifts before taking action. The truth will emerge in time. You just need to go deeper. Follow your intuition. So, in combination with everything else, this may be going with the flow until the time is right, the fog lifts, things become clear, you know what action to take, and then that dynamic plays in. And of course, determination, enlightenment, facing your fears, new life, and opening to love plays into that in various ways. So, our mini messages. And with opening to love, I'm very curious about your love oracle card. When it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. So, how I always think of it with right and wrong choices, obviously, there are choices with more or less integrity than other choices. However, I still agree that there's no such thing as a right or wrong choice. I think every time you're presented with a choice, what you're really choosing between is which lesson do I want to learn and how do I want to learn it. Every choice boils down to that. Because no matter which direction you take, you're going to be learning something. So it's not wrong. I mean, it may take you in a direction away from your soul's purpose, but then you will learn something and things will happen that direct you back toward the path of your soul's purpose. And even if you never get on track in this lifetime, you'll get another shot in the next lifetime. So it's not about right or wrong, it's just a path of learning. Do something to improve yourself. Any improvement you make will benefit all of humanity. Creativity. There are ways of dealing with this situation without giving away your power. Think of creative methods in which you can be heard and maintain your dignity. This kind of plays in with the patience idea. A moment's joy. Sand through the hourglass, yet time could stand still. A moment lasts forever in the bliss of the heart's will. Cryptic. These cards are often cryptic. And finally, your last chakra card, confidence. No one will believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. Be your own cheerleader. And the stone we have here is rutilated quartz. So you may want to have that around or wear it or something this week. Okay, group 3, those are your messages. I'd love to hear about it if anything comes up this week. I love to hear people's stories, so please leave a comment. And I will see you for messages next week. Remember that your soul is beautiful and perfect, and I love all of you. Bye. Hello, group 4. If you've decided to work on your heart chakra this week, then these are your messages. And just as a reminder, I recommend listening to these in the morning and the evening during the week you've chosen these. And in the evening, journal about anything that's come up that coincides with the messages. It's a good way to keep up a dialogue with spirit. And first we have victim. Green acorn. I am not a victim. I choose to do what I am doing. The legend. Green acorn is asked to star in a fable by Kelly the Green Dragon. He was promised top billing, but in the end, he says, his best work never made the final edit. Now he doesn't even have a speaking part. He feels betrayed by Dragon, but Green Acorn is not resentful. Being in the fable landed him a job on display at a museum. He insists he is content, but we can see denial and the underlying anger. It's a lot to put on an acorn. I'm just saying. Oh, and by the way, you might hear my dog snuffling and snoring and stuff in the background. She's laying right there. Yeah, you can see a little bit of her right there. Inspiration. The green acorn indicates that being in denial may be holding you back. To move forward, you must make an honest assessment of your situation. Questions to ask yourself. How are my actions connected to my inability to create breakthroughs? Am I willing to make new choices in order to grow? Key ideas. Feeling blocked blaming others, past resentment, deluding yourself, potential for greatness. Keywords: growth, breakthrough, empowerment. A meditation you can use this week. See yourself sitting in a cinema. As the movie begins, you watch a scene from your life about a dream that never came true. Maybe you'd wanted a promotion, a new house, a relationship, something you were promised that did not come to pass. Allow yourself to feel the disappointment again. Now, rewrite the scene. How does your fable end? Next, we have forgiveness, which I think ties in very nicely. That is an excellent way to let go of victim mentality. You attracted this card into your life today because it is a powerful time of forgiveness. When we hold on to grudges and wounds from the past, we can create imbalance and disharmony in our life. Over time, this can turn into resentment, anger, frustration, sickness, and depression, like rotting fruit creating a disease inside us. You may be feeling flat and down about something that has happened in your life, and it is now time to bring the healing energy of forgiveness to the situation. True forgiveness starts with you. Take some time over the next few days to ask yourself, what am I holding on to? What requires love, attention, and forgiveness? When you have identified the issue, make sure you do what is required to surrender or expand your awareness to a place that allows for true forgiveness to occur. When you can truly forgive and let go, you can set yourself free from those stale energies and beliefs, and deep healing can occur. You will feel so much lighter and happier in your world. If you have asked a question about a situation or person, know that this is a sign for you that forgiveness is required to move forward. If you have already been working on forgiveness, know that this card is a sign that you are making progress and that you should continue doing what you are doing. To find that deep place of forgiveness requires much love, understanding, compassion, and a whole lot of courage. You have all of these traits within you to draw upon at this time. The time, actually, it says to draw upon at any time. The time has come for you to let go and forgive at a deeper level so you can dance in the energy of freedom. Affirmation: my heart is full of unconditional love, and I forgive freely. Let's see how our shadow work ties in. So we're looking at the Seven of Cups today, but we'll be evaluating the shadow aspect. And to remind you, shadow just means dealing with our ego stuff. We're souls in a human body, and incarnation means having an ego. And since we incarnate in order for our soul to learn things, ego is necessary for us to learn things. So it's not a bad thing or something to get rid of. It's just about being aware of what comes from our ego and processing it in a healthy way so it doesn't affect our lives in ways we don't want it to. The Seven of Cups. When you daydream your way into the future, the options that you have in front of you can feel both under and overwhelming. Can feel both under and overwhelming. The path from A to Z is often nebulous, and life can present itself like a game of chutes and ladders that brings you down only to lift you up. Your desire to choose the one correct and perfect path can further complicate and muddle your decision, because there is no way to know everything that will spill forth from the cup you choose. Use your intuition to decide, remembering that the temptation of shiny things can be illusory. while challenging paths will often hold unexpected opportunity. Ask your discerning heart what options honestly stand in front of you today, and even if things are not exactly as they seem, choosing that which you truly desire will offer the most useful stepping stone right now. And the idea of choice came up with in another reading, and I said, or in another group, and I pointed this out. But when you're choosing between two different things, you shouldn't worry so much about or like stress over whether or not you're choosing the correct thing, because you're really just choosing which lesson you're going to learn and how you're going to learn it. And even if you choose something that takes you in a direction that's away from your soul path, you'll still learn something from that. And things will happen that will guide you back toward your soul path. Like you'll figure it out if you're going in the wrong direction, and you can always redirect. So I mean, there are no fatal choices, even if there's a literally fatal choice. You know, accidents happen. Um, there's another incarnation, so you know, like you're never gonna like ruin something forever that was intended for you, or destroy another person on a soul level. Everything's going to be okay, and everyone is going to be okay. So try not to have too much anxiety about your choices. So the shadow side of this card: feeling blocked by indecision, fear of making the wrong choice, overwhelmed. So if that comes up for you this week, just be aware of it, think about it, and see if you can shift your perspective or the situation to the light side of the card, which is about fantasies, choices, wishful thinking, the allure of temptation on the path, needing to move forward without knowing the full picture, and options. And an affirmation: my wildest imagination is a tool that I can use to inform my future in a down to earth way. And the tarot card you have today is the Ace of Wands. Keywords: beginnings, energy, enthusiasm, cleverness, wit, movement, and fertility. The Ace of Wands is a card about action, taking chances, and turning enthusiasm into movement. There is a lot of positive energy swirling around you at this time, and it's a great moment to get new plans, programs, or changes underway. The Ace of Wands encourages you to follow your instincts and be bold. The card is illustrated with a fox because they are energetic and crafty, playful and enthusiastic, just the kind of energy this card speaks to. Using flowers and plants in the illustration of this card will hopefully also remind you of the blossoming of new opportunities and fertility. The world is fertile for your ventures and ideas right now, but be aware, this card might also be talking about actual physical fertility. This is not the weekend to have an oops moment with your birth control. So if that is in your plan, then awesome, yay, good sign. If it's not in your plan, be extra careful. Keep your mind open to opportunities, new ideas, new life, new love or friendship, and new spiritual or physical adventures. In the present position, new ventures, new jobs, or the beginning of a new project is indicated. If you have been thinking about taking a leap into a new situation and this card shows up, go for it. The Ace of Wands is the best possible omen for the kind of energy and attitude that a new venture requires. If it's in a future position, that big break you have been hoping for is on the horizon. It's talking about pairings, and I'm skipping over that because there's no pairing. Okay, so I think these first cards are saying if you can let go victim mentality and move forward with forgiveness, focus on an option and choose it, you have this is a great time to like start with something like that new beginning will be blessed and fortuitous. But let's see what our oracle says. We have the lesson of patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Earth has become a place of instant gratification. You must focus on the maxim. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. This card has come to you because you need to learn the joy of anticipation. The process of doing is so rich in lessons, but when you concentrate only on the goal, those experiences are disregarded. Life is an unfolding, and the more patience you practice, the more you will let the universal energy celebrate itself through you and bring the experiences and situations your soul requires. You need to learn that there is a rhythm to everything in the universe, and the more you are living with patience, the more aware you are of the lessons your soul is studying. You are on a path. There are signposts. If you are speeding down the path, you will miss the little miracles and treasures that have been placed there. Oh, this goes right with that. Savoring pleasure. I fully embrace bliss in my life. Fill your life with people, experiences, and places that bring you delight and joy. Live deliciously. Release the need to be practical in all situations. Surround yourself with beauty and sumptuous pleasures. The universe wants you to know you need to share from the depths of your soul. Allow others to see your essence and feel your radiance. If you give with the thought that it's something you must do as a duty or sacrifice, you may feel depleted. However, if you give with the belief that there's no scarcity of energy, funds, or joy, the universe will pour an abundance of these things into your life. Don't expect to receive something in return. Rather, be generous just because it feels right. You can only give as much as your capacity to receive, so open yourself to receiving even more. Questions to ask yourself. How can I give even more? What is stopping the flow within my life? What could occur in my life if I gave without reservation? I think that goes nicely with the heart chakra. Next. Ooh, goes nicely with this too. Abundance. And at the bottom it says plenty, profusion, generosity, fertility, ripeness. Okay, we've got another fertility card here. Just keep that in mind, people. Inner riches, reaping rewards, culmination, harvest. And a drink of water. Times of abundance are a sign that life is at a peak and all seems right with the world. It is the greatest opportunity to provide for and support others, to be expansive, celebrate, and express gratitude. The experience is not necessarily dependent upon bank balances, although it often accompanies an upturn in the healthy, wealthy, and wise side of things. But fundamentally, the feeling of abundance comes from within. It's when your inner landscape is rich and fertile, so full to the point of overflow that you are glad to give because you have so much. There's a smile on your lips, and it's great to be alive. Abundance is the sweet time of reaping the rewards of work done well. It is the harvest that gathers up all that has been sown and then spreads it out bountifully. The traditional I Ching compares it to the sun at its zenith, invigorating, enriching, and illuminating all that it touches. The nature of existence itself is exuberantly prolific. We get zillions of stars, never just a handful. Impossible combinations of color and form, textures and tunes, all for the viewing, tasting, touching, listening. Abundance makes its entrance gradually, after lean times or periods of contraction, and once the first blush of ripeness appears, the promise of plentiful profusion is not far off. Stay mindful to not expect abundance to last indefinitely and to not squander its rewards. Farmers aptly refer to it as make hay while the sun shines. There are all kinds of abundance, including one that is independent of externals, that is only known by tapping into the inexhaustible source of riches within your own being. It enables us to be hearty and warm with a yes to supporting others, yet maintains a centered self respect that withdraws whenever it is needed in order to be restored by silence in nature and in aloneness. A sense of well being is the ultimate richness, and it starts where you are. It requires responsiveness to the unfolding moment, whatever the moment is offering, and it begins with being abundantly loving of yourself. Abundantly honoring your own being supports wholeness, wholesomeness, self respect, and a sense of self worth, and it flowers into a charismatic luminosity that is independent of decorations and possessions. You always have the choice to stay small or to think abundant. One path leads you grumbling down the same old, same old. The other makes the most of the now, appreciating this moment as golden as a gift. Each of us is continuously challenged by life to create abundance from a rich soil of possibilities, and even when we refuse the invitation, we're still given more. Partaking of the abundance that is Tao means spreading your wings, opening your windows, unlocking your heart and your thinking. It is only possible from an attitude of receptivity. If you're shut down inside, no matter what you've got, it's never going to be enough or bring you joy or and peace of mind. Whenever your perspective shifts, even for a moment, from slim pickings mode, life becomes an opportunity for renewal, and then you can have some cake and eat it too. And I think a lot of that ties back in with letting go of the victim mentality. All right. So these cards are basically like a visual I Ching. And we take the symbols of the card and we toss coins to find out if any of these lines are changing, which would create a new symbol. It's basically just a way to assess for any shifting energy. And our two symbols are the arousing thunder on top. That's what's shown here. And the other one is the clinging fire. So let's see if we have changes. Oh, where did my pen go? It's my favorite pen and I lose it constantly. But it's such a great pen, man. Like, I keep rebuying the exact same pen because I love it so much. And I bought refills for it if I could ever not lose one long enough to use a refill. It's a big fat pen. It's so comfortable for my hand because my hands are kind of big for a girl. Okay. So from bottom to top, our lines are yang, yin, yang, yang, yin, yin. So for every yang line, if we toss 3 heads, then that line is changing. And for every yin line, if we toss 3 tails, then the line is changing. So first we're looking for 3 heads. And we got 3 heads. So that is changing to a yin line. Next, 3 tails indicates change. Nope, that stays the same. Next, 3 heads. Nope. Next, 3 heads. Yep, that one's changing. Next, 3 tails. Yep. Wow. Next, 3 tails. No, that one is not changing. Now let me figure out what the new symbols are. The bottom one is keeping still, the mountain. And the top one is the abysmal. So I'm not an artist. It looks kind of like this. I'm an artist in some ways. Drawing is not one of them. But if you only knew how many hobbies I have. I dabble in bass guitar. I have a cello and saxophone because I want to learn both of those. I've got knitting everywhere. I'm literally just looking around the room at things right now. Knitting everywhere. Other little craft projects everywhere. uh, some watercolor supplies over there. I wish I knew someone who drew because I would love to decorate their drawings. But the only person I know who draws lives on the other side of the country. That would be my brother. But yeah, so I'm an artist, but not a drawing. Okay, back to your thing. I'm looking up your new card. Mountain on the bottom, abysmal on the top, gives us card 39. So let's see how we feel about the energy of the new card. Okay, so we are moving from an energy of abundance to an energy of obstacles. What that means is, left to its own devices, there are 3 changes that are naturally occurring right now. I was really hoping it would be a good card because it's so much less complicated. So, alternatives. Because basically you can choose to counteract any of these changing lines to take you in a better direction. So let's just say if you want to stay in the energy of abundance, which is certainly a safe bet. Um, I will describe the lines of changing, and basically you just act in it differently. Okay. It'll become more obvious when I read it. So for the bottom line, there is an aura of great good fortune around someone who genuinely experiences the pleasure of their own company. If you find such a person in your life now, enjoy the sunshine of their presence. If you are such a person, be grateful for the opportunity to share. So, let me look and see if your top symbol stayed the same and only your bottom line changed, because that sounded like a good thing that was happening. So if only the bottom line changed, then you would have the arousing thunder on top and the mountain on the bottom, which is probably a good energy. That would be 62. Small is beautiful. Anything you take on right now should be handled carefully. Be conscientious, but be true to yourself. The Tao continually restores equilibrium by relieving excess. Okay, so it's moving from abundance to equilibrium, so that's not terrible. That's just the natural flow of things. That's why it doesn't sound, the change doesn't sound like a bad thing, because that is a natural change that comes out of abundance. That's going to happen eventually. Okay, so next we have line 4. Don't let unexpected surprises throw you off balance. The fact that you've suddenly stumbled across just what you need, despite the fact that you weren't looking for it, is exactly what existence must have wanted for you now. No need to be suspicious of it, it really is a gift. Nor is there any point in trying to figure out what you might have done to get yourself into this charmed situation so that you can do it again. Gifts like these, given unconditionally and freely, work under a different set of laws that are more like mysteries than rules. So there's some good advice to follow. And then line 5, give of your goodness and provide what you can to help make this world a better place. The more you share what you have, the more enriched your life will be. You will find an uncommon receptivity to what you have to offer now. So basically, the way to stay in this energy is to be generous and genuine, share with others, and avoid a suspicious nature. And enjoy the abundance wisely, because it's definitely it's a shifty energy, that one. But you can decide to keep that energy in your life by showing generosity. Oh, this fits right in. Spirit guardian of summer, expansion. If I can find the book, I'll be honest, I'm surprised it took me until group 4 to lose it. All right, here we go. The spirit guardian of summer says, work with passion, don't hold back. Take positive steps in the direction of your dreams now in order to reap the harvest later. Your hard work will result in abundance, bounty, and beauty. Celebrate. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Good. So, lots of advice for keeping that abundance in your life while also enjoying it. And your last little messages. First, your love oracle, because you are the heart chakra. Look inside yourself. Examine what is causing you to feel this way. So, whether you feel good or bad, it's good to cultivate self awareness and to look for the reasons for things inside of yourself instead of outside of yourself. because you have far more control than you think, and that ties into letting go of the victim mentality. Reflection. Friendships in your life may come to an end, others could blossom and become stronger. The Rose. You are divinely loved and protected with grace. And it is interesting that the reflection card has to do with friendships when you've got the heart chakra that you're focusing on. So, if that's an issue for you this week, for one, if there's tension or conflict, look inside yourself. Sometimes you can change a situation by changing your perspective. And sometimes it's simply a matter of course that as your circumstances change and as your spiritual growth changes, friendships will come and go. And that's simply part of the natural way of things. That which no longer serves you falls away. Dream, follow your yearning for the deep blue sea. And that really just means to answer the call of anything that's calling you. And your final chakra card. Embrace the balance between earth and spirit. And you can use for this clear quartz, rose quartz, or hematite. And this is all about balance. So in this little deck of cards, there are cards for each chakra, and then there are also chakra balance cards. So when I pull cards for the piles, for the messages for the week, I take whatever card Spirit delivers first that either matches the chakra pile or is one of the chakra balance cards, because that includes all of them. So for this week, they're suggesting you focus on balance, and specifically the balance between earth and spirit. Okay, group 4, those are your messages for the week. I hope you find them helpful. If anything comes up, any stories to tell, I love to hear stories, so please leave a comment down below. I'll have more messages for you next week. Remember that you have a beautiful and perfect soul. I love all of you. Bye. Hello, group 5. If you decided to focus on your throat chakra this week, then these are your messages. As a reminder, I recommend listening to them in the morning and the evening, and journaling in the evening about anything that came up during the day, because this is a great way to keep a dialogue going with spirit. First, we have impatience. Electric blue moon. If I don't take care of it, it'll never happen. Ah! Yeah, that's my dog. You'll probably also hear her snuffling and stuff. That's her fuzzy body right there. That's Hannah. So, the legend for impatience. Eaton grows impatient, waiting for dawn, so he buys a used moon. Once it is in the sky, he steps back to see his handiwork. The moon will not stay in place unless he holds the cord. Sky God assures him that dawn will come when he lets go, but Eaton is fearful and grips onto the cord until he falls asleep and releases it. When he awakens, dawn has come, and the radiant light in the sky is blocked only by his used moon. Inspiration. Now is not the time to make a rushed decision. You have made your needs known, now leave it alone. You may block something wonderful from coming to you if you are hasty. Questions to ask yourself this week. Am I jumping the gun? If I am honest with myself, am I forcing something? Key ideas. Scarcity thinking. Being exhausted by your efforts. Success through patience. Okay, Hannah. Getting a little too into her self care. Okay. Keywords: unfolding, revelation, success. And a meditation you can use this week. Imagine something you strongly desire. The electric blue moon appears and begins to cool the heat of your emotions. Write down any communication you receive in the moonlight. It is a message from the Council of the Great Spirits. Next, we have the card of Universal Light, number 34. So this deck comes with cards for all 7 chakras, but then it also has an extra chakra at the bottom, the Earth Star chakra, and an extra one at the top, which is the Soul Star. So for each group, I shuffle and I take the first card from Spirit that is either for a matching chakra or from the Earth Star or the Soul Star. And in this case, you got a Soul Star. Universal Light. You have pulled this card today to remind you that you are always connected to and an extension of the powerful universal light of the cosmos. This light is what fuels your soul and gives birth to the stars. It is the all-wise, all-knowing, all-loving energy of the universe. This light is divine, unconditional love at its purest. Okay. I should go somewhere else. Or go back to sleep. Sweet pie. Sometimes you can feel disconnected and shut off from this light. However, in truth, you are an extension of and made up of this energy and can never be separate. This light loves, guides, and supports you at all times. You are being encouraged to focus on this divine connection to the cosmos and do what is required to deepen and awaken fully to this universal light. You may like to introduce meditation to your daily routine, attend a spiritual awakening event or workshop, work with some powerful breathing exercises, or even take up yoga to deepen your connection. Whatever you choose, make sure to action this connection to the universal light of the cosmos. As you awaken to this unconditional love, you will feel an abundance of wisdom, support, strength, and light within you and your world. It will assist you to make clear decisions as you step toward your personal power. Your heart will expand with love as your soul heals, bringing you peace of mind and well-being in your world. The universal light of the universe loves you no matter what you have or haven't done in your life. It does not judge, and it is unconditional. It understands you at the deepest level. This light is you, your pure essence. Open your heart to receive the love of universal light available to you at all times. You are an amazing, powerful being, and now it is time to believe in your light. And the affirmation is, I am a divine channel of universal light. That's beautiful. So I feel weird saying it since I was just talking about universal light. But the shadow card. So, as a reminder, shadow work just refers to cultivating an awareness of our ego. Um, Not in any kind of effort to get rid of, because that's not possible. And in fact, the more light you bring out in yourself, the more shadows there are to see. But we are a divine soul incarnated in a human body, and that human body comes with ego. And if we're in a human body to learn lessons, then the ego is an important part of learning those lessons. So it's all about getting the ego and soul to work together and maintaining consciousness and awareness of what is ego and being loving toward your ego in those moments. But making healthy choices by awareness, not by trying to eradicate your ego, which is not possible. Knight of Pentacles. And we'll be looking at it reversed. The shadow aspects. So the Knight of Pentacles. He's toiling and tilling his lands and enjoying every minute of it. More practical than the other knights, he improves things for himself and for those he loves with his steadfast and consistent momentum. Devoted to solidifying foundations, he assures you that extra care today will multiply your harvest tomorrow. It's time to show fierce loyalty, pride, and trustworthiness, and to tend to your home while uncovering your unwavering ambitions for the future. Sometimes this energy is so stable that it feels repetitive, so if you are feeling resistance or if you'd kind of prefer to stay in bed, find the joy in your progress. The journey is the thing. Uncover heart stirring enthusiasm by allowing yourself to believe in something brighter. This is a card of infinite expansion, and with time and faith, your seeds will take. Follow through on your plans and promises, and move any stagnant energy that's blocking you from your dreams. And let me just say, the Knight of Pentacles gets a bad rap because it's the slowest moving energy of the tarot. So you'll be like, oh, I want this thing. And you'll get a knight, and you're like, oh, sweet, that means the thing is coming. And then you see it's the Nine of Pentacles, and you're like, oh, crap, it's not coming quickly. Quite frankly, I would rather have the Knight of Pentacles show up with my thing that I want than any other knight, because the Knight of Pentacles is slow, but when he gets there, he knows what he wants. Like the thing that the Knight of Pentacles showing up is someone you can depend on. It's stability, and I think that is beautiful. I do not think it's boring. I think it's fantastic. It's better than impulsivity and emotional moods that can change. And I think I want this right now, but maybe I won't want it later. And like all the other nights, it's like, well, great. You got here really fast and you left just as quickly. You know what I'm saying? The Knight of Pentacles shows up and he sticks around. So let's hear it for the Pentacles, because earth energy, grounded energy, I'm all about that. I need more of that because there's practically no earth in my chart. And I actually think that it would be much better for me if I had a partner with a lot of earth energy in their chart, because I need a balance. I need grounding. I mean, I'm awesome. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like putting myself down. I've got plenty of self-love and I love everything that's in my chart, but I also recognize ways in which I am lacking and would benefit from a counterpart, and hopefully I would benefit them equally with what I bring to the table. But anyway, I just wanted to say I love me some Pentacles. I love me the Knight of Pentacles. I would love for the Knight of Pentacles to show up at my door. Okay, shadow side of the Knight of Pentacles. Focusing solely on wealth, workaholic tendencies. Okay, I don't want that. I should say, when it comes to the Pentacles, I'm not talking about I want someone with material wealth to show up at my door. Like, I don't actually care about that. I just mean the dependability aspect, the dependability, the I'm here. I spent a long time thinking about it. I'm sure about what I want. I'm not going to abandon you when my mood changes. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, back to the shadow side. Being selfish or cold, laziness, taking harmful shortcuts, stagnation or feeling stuck, being overly conventional. So if you notice any of that popping up for you this week, just be aware of it, embrace it. Say, oh, I see, I'm doing this thing. That's coming from my ego. And then try to shift your perspective or the situation so that it reflects the light side of the card. Diligence and hard work, determination, steadfastness, building material security, safety, being pragmatic, and expansion. And an affirmation to help you with that this week. Seed by seed, I plant my future with my rock steady foundations of faith. See, you can't even tell me that's not beautiful. I don't care how slow it is. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Beautiful earth energy. All right. Your next tarot card. Here we go. Oh, I could show it to you first. The moon. Such a beautiful card. And in this one, it's the moon, of course, that's embossed. And what's pictured here in this card is extra dimensions. If string theory is correct, all fundamental particles in the universe comprise of tiny loops or strings that vibrate at different frequencies. The early versions of string theory suggest that strings have only one dimension, but superstring theory proposes that strings might vibrate in 10 dimensions. Apart from the three ordinary dimensions of space and one of time, the theory claims that the other six dimensions are curled up, compressed into a very tiny space. The strings wind themselves around these curled up dimensions like a kind of cosmic cat's cradle. These inaccessible extra dimensions are like the extra dimensions of our lives. Hints, hunches, movements out of the corner of our eye. The moon represents this realm of the mysterious and the unfamiliar, which is often fearful to those who like everything clearly explained. The moon shows up when the indefinable starts demanding attention in our consciousness, and to the conscious mind, this can seem like a threat. See, I love moon energy. Love it. I'm I feel the moon energy. And I know some people I really think that when it refers to like darkness and fears, it's really referring to when you don't know yourself and you've got things in your subconscious and unconscious creeping up on you, and your soul is trying to talk to you and your higher self is trying to talk to you and you don't want to deal with any of it. That's where the fear aspect of the moon comes from. But when you embrace your inner self and your higher self and your intuition, there's nothing to fear, and the moon is not a scary card. I love it when the moon comes up because whenever I see the moon, I always think, oh, good, my intuition is going to be and spirit are going to be taking the charge on this one. And universe knows they're better at these things than at everything than I am. So the question to ask yourself, what fearful mystery are you drawn to explore? And our oracle cards. Oh, wow, you got like I didn't since I don't look at what the cards are until I'm actually doing the videos. I think it's more fun that way. I didn't know that you had the moon as a tarot card, and then your spirit chosen oracles include starry beginnings and moonology. So that's fitting. So your first oracle card. Remember, love is the key. Is that focusing? There we go. Remember, love is the key. Love what you have in your life right now. It's beautiful imagery. If it would focus, come on, man. There we go. So pretty. And that is number 6. Our letter from Spirit. Love is such a powerful force. Love is manifestation. Think of a time when you felt unwavering love for something. You will see that it manifested. Love propelled you forward to manifest those things, experiences, into your life. Whatever you are wanting now, draw it into your life. Manifest it with love. Love is the only ingredient to manifestation. Manifestation from fear does not work. You will get something different entirely. What works in your life you created, you manifested with love. Remember, love is the key. Fear just gets in the way. Fear of not trusting yourself, fear of loss, fear of getting it wrong. Fear steps in and makes a mess of it. To turn it around, love what you have in your life right now. Love what has been created. Love your future goals and acquisitions. Give them your love and they will return this love by achieving, being what you hoped for. Love is what creates love. Fear creates fear. Love more. Love always. Love who you are, and where you are going. For you are love and it is your journey. Blessings and love to you, dear child of the stars and the earth. I really love that. I love all this whole deck because it really focuses on the fact that it's always a choice between love and fear. And everything that comes from love is good, and every choice that's motivated by fear leads us down the wrong path. Or not the wrong path, because we still learn something, but it leads us down the path that is away from our higher self and our true purpose. Next, we have take time to breathe out. The intensity of the full moon has abated. And what are we left with? That's what this card is asking you. It suggests that the situation you're asking about has now peaked, and it's time for you to regroup and learn from your experiences rather than blindly forging ahead. Have faith that what is happening is for the best. Try to accept the way things are now and give yourself and others time out to relax. Breathe. We can't be on all the time. If you feel you've hit an obstacle or even failed in some way, now is the time to reflect on how to do things differently next time. Be honest with yourself if you feel bad about your current situation, and then remind yourself that life goes in cycles. I am where I am, and it's okay. The disseminating moon is the first moon phase after the explosion of energy that comes with the full moon. No matter when you pick this card, it suggests you're at a more tranquil point in the life cycle of whatever situation you're asking about. This is not the ideal time to start something new. The disseminating moon is the time to breathe out. Give yourself some time off and think about what has passed. Next we have the taming power of the great from the Tao Oracle. And it says self-discipline concentration, strengthen your character from within, self-awareness, and realizing potential. I would say this is fitting in very well with the theme. What am I going to do with my Oracle box? There it is. The taming influence here is the ability to remain aware while being tested by circumstance. How able are you to hold firm to your ideals and maintain your integrity in the face of challenges that threaten to break down your resolve? It is the time when life is urging you to grow beyond the security of what you have, till now, considered to be some of your most substantial achievements. Now comes the disquieting moment of having your investments in the status quo exposed. Once you begin to sweat the small stuff, it's likely that you are clinging like crazy to something or someone and have started to think that person, place, or thing is part of the definition of who you are. The present time is one that reveals truth as it really is in the moment, and this may be quite different from what you have believed was the case. Whatever is valid in the now remains, and anything else becomes increasingly hard to hold on to. This revelation is most often an internal one. It may seem to be prompted by outer circumstances, but in reality it is the inner being that has brought itself into realignment with the Tao, thereby momentarily enlightening you. By letting go of delusions and illusions, you not only gain clarity, but become lighter, less burdened by ideas and beliefs that are no longer relevant. It requires inner fortitude to not succumb to the nagging voices of a freaked out or unhappy mind. It's a little like training a wild animal that keeps running off whenever you are inattentive, even for a split second. You must continually bring back your thoughts to neutral ground, unbiased and uninvested in particular outcomes. I would say this is also part of getting to the light side of the Knight of Pentacles. Transcending your own mental boundaries can feel like swimming naked and alone in a dark and unfamiliar place. The mind tends to become fixed and inflexible, and it never likes to appear untogether. Trusting in the flowing nature of life is perceived as the biggest threat because the mind often wrongfully interprets vulnerability as inadequacy. When existence is coaxing you to stretch beyond the limitations of habit, it is easy to feel exhausted or threatened. But the exhaustion comes from fighting against the change, not from the change itself. And defending yourself against a threat is all the more tiring if the threat exists mostly in your own imagination. Bending with changes needs alertness and an open mind. Be aware of a tendency to make molehills into mountains so that you get to be heroic and clever while demonstrating the ability to leap tall trouble in a single bound. Don't be misled in this way, lest you deprive yourself of the opportunity to reap the real benefits of facing the actual life challenges at hand. The only way to deal with the challenges you are facing is not through histrionics, but with awareness, inner composure, and integrity. So let's find out if we have any line changes. So we're starting off with yang, 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 yin, yin, yang. So if you haven't seen this before, we toss the coins to find out if any of these energies are changing by seeing if any of the lines are changing. So for the yang lines, where 3 heads means it's changing. And that one is changing. So even if though this is a challenging energy to be in, it is already shifting. Looking for 3 heads again. Nope. And for line 3, 3 heads. Nope. For line 4, 3 tails. Nope. Line 5, 3 tails. Nope. What's funny is that for 2 of the yang lines, I got 3 tails. And for that yin line, I just got 3 heads. It's unusual to get like all 3 of anything, and it's funny it's happening so many times, but it's not the one that changes the line. And finally, line 6, 3 heads. And that's a yes. So we have another line change. So first, we'll read about our changes. The bottom line changing. By being alert to childish superhero fantasies when they start to arise, it's possible to shift gears before the drama begins. Once you've set the stage for the first act, it's harder to rewrite the script. In other words, the histrionics it was talking about avoiding, the earlier you notice it, the earlier you can avoid that ball even getting started rolling, which is way easier than trying to pull it back later. You let your emotions like run away with you and make impulsive decisions, and next thing you know, the mood is over, but now you can't walk it back without giving up your pride, and not everyone is prepared to do that. So the top line change. However challenging the situation may feel at the moment, go forward in spite of any doubts that might be nagging at the back of your mind. Know that you must be ready to receive what you are being given and welcome the opportunity to stretch yourself beyond the familiar and the known. In the process, you will discover much about yourself that you might not have been aware of before, and it will serve as a reminder that the process of growth and expansion is a never-ending journey. And finally, let's just check and see which card is represented by the energy changes. $46. Pushing upward. So you are actually moving from this energy, especially if you follow the advice that I just gave. That will take you into a place of pushing upward, which is good forward momentum and making progress. So that is a good change. But, well, I mean, everything can be seen as good, but changing in an easier direction, let's say. And finally, you have the hummingbird spirit, joy. The spirit of the hummingbird says, replenish yourself. True happiness comes from following the dictates of your soul. Life is change. Be open to change and look for joy in the moment. Find your boundaries and stand strong. Discover your joy. All is well. There was definitely a lot of repetition in all of those messages. They fit together nicely, I mean. And our last little messages. Gratitude. Universal love shines through the miracles of life all around you. Lily. Good partnerships are made of equal amounts of positivity. Ambition. Set your sights beyond the horizon. Secret sketches. Wander and seek the familiar and friendly kind. Draw memories and sketches for others to find. Another enigmatic doorway, but that may speak to someone. And your final chakra card. The only illusion is separation, meaning we carry the divine within us. We are connected to everything all the time. Any sense of separation we have or loneliness that we have is an illusion. And we have blue lace, agate, amethyst, and new jade to help with chakra balance. And this is the chakra balance card of unity. So for these little messages, there are cards that correspond to each chakra, and then there are chakra balance cards. So when I'm choosing cards, I take whichever one spirit gives that matches the chakra color or that is a chakra balance card, since that includes everything. So yeah, unity. Okay, group 5, those are your messages for the week. I hope they're helpful and that they resonate with you. If anything happens that's interesting and corresponds, please leave your story in the comments. I love to hear people's stories. Remember that your soul is beautiful and perfect, and keep shining your light. I love all of you. Bye. Hello, group 6. If you decided to work on your third eye and crown chakra this week, then these are your messages. And you may hear my dog in the background at some points, because this is, let's see, this fuzziness right here is my dog. I think I should start laying my little mini messages out so you guys can see the pretty pictures on the back. Okay, as a reminder, my suggestion is to listen to your messages each day, once in the morning, as a refresher for what to look for. I'm readjusting, sorry. I hope that wasn't on camera. Anyway, I guess I'll find out. Um, and then listen again in the evening, and you can use that as an opportunity to journal about anything you noticed. It's a good way to keep a dialogue going with spirit. And our first card, because this is my pile too, is mysticism. A woman named Aubergine. Aubergine? Aubergine? Let's go with Aubergine. Sounds good. You are not to know. The legend. A woman named Aubergine calls on the telephone to confirm that she will be with us tonight. Yet no woman named Aubergine has been invited. Of the 4 invited, 2 are wed, and 2 are unknown to each other, a woman and a man. Surely, if this mysterious woman were the guest of the man, she would have made it known. A woman approaches, the woman named Aubergine, the woman who will be with us tonight. Inspiration. It is wise to be the observer. Do not respond until you are certain. The unknown is not easy, but it is no longer necessary to fear. Questions to ask yourself this week. Am I ignoring my intuition? What I suspect is probably true. I must breathe. Key ideas. Ignoring signs, unknown motivation, intuitive knowing, fear of the unknown, and journey. Key words. Intuition, courage, and uncharted. A meditation for this week. See yourself in a crystal clear pool. As you wade in the water, a whirlpool swirls toward you and catches you. Aubergine is afraid you would leave if you weren't captive. Assure her that you will stay if she sets you free. She doesn't believe you. You have met your own fear. Open your eyes. What is real? What is imagined? What is no longer necessary? Next, we have grounding. So, this deck comes with cards for each chakra, and then it also has an additional chakra at the bottom, the Earth Star chakra, and an additional one at the top, the Crown chakra. So, when I'm pulling cards um, for the messages, I take the first one from Spirit that either matches the chakra for the group, like here, or is an Earth Star or a Soul Star. And we have grounding this week, which is just funny, because I was just talking in group 5 about my need for more earth energy in my life and my appreciation for the Knight of Pentacles. You have attracted this card into your world today as a sign that it's time to get grounded. You may have been feeling a little scattered with your thoughts and feelings and finding it difficult to focus and concentrate. Maybe you're feeling stressed and busy due to the many demands on you and are finding it difficult to create and manifest positive outcomes and experiences in your life. Know you are not alone. This is a very common feeling, and it is easy to get caught up in the whirlwind and craziness that surrounds you. There is a light at the end of the tunnel for you, and the best thing for you right now is to get centered and grounded. The most powerful way to do this is to align with and reconnect to the beautiful Mother Earth. You are encouraged to take some time in nature connecting and receiving the abundance of energy and magic she has to share. This is the best medicine for your soul right now. You may like to spend some time at the beach. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Go for a walk in the bush, visit a lovely waterfall or a favorite place in nature where you feel at peace. Sit on the land and feel yourself completely grounded and centered. When you are grounded, you feel a deep connection to yourself and everything around you. And just so you know, grounding is like a real thing. Like in electricity, the ground in your plug. That has a line running to a metal pole that is sunk deep, deep in the earth outside of your home. Why? Because when there are extra electrons, you can funnel them into the earth. Yeah. Helps avoid shorts and surges and stuff like that. And so, yeah, putting your feet in the dirt, it's actually really good for your body. You can offload some of those extra electrons you're carrying around. Affirmation. My energy is completely grounded into the healing energy of the earth. Next, we have our shadow work card. And as a reminder, this is just about paying attention to our ego. We have divine souls that incarnate into a human body, and along with the human body comes the ego. And if we need the human body and this incarnation in order for our souls to learn things, then we also need the ego in order to learn those lessons. So, shadow work is just about being aware of what our ego is saying and address it and incorporate it in a healthy way so that it's not influencing our actions without our awareness. And this is interesting. Okay. The 10 of Cups. What a lovely card to get. Let's turn it upside down. So we're apparently going to be dealing with the shadow side of the 10 of Cups. Okay. I have no idea what's about to happen. Okay. I have I've not read the shadow side of this card that I can recall. This card has the powerful energy of connected hearts, giant love, and devoted acceptance. Often seen as the one big happy family card, it's a giant yes for relationships and love, and it predicts your fairy tale ending. And hey, you get to decide what this soulmates and unicorns ending looks like. Allow your heart's expansive energy to pour into all of your connections, including those with your community. In shadow, this card suggests that you need to look at how you feel about yourself within relationships. If you are looking for a white picket fence in order to find happiness, remember that your joy will come only from the inside out. So true, very true. Just saying, nothing truer was ever said. No matter how good anything outside of you is, it will not make you happy. That happiness has to come from inside of you. It might temporarily distract you from your inner lack of happiness, but it won't actually make you happy. Anyway, by waiting for other people or better things to create your happiness for you, you undermine your own power to create feelings of love. Bring gratitude and generosity to your life every day. Focus on others and gift them your energy through time, kindness, and service. So the shadow side is disharmony or disputes, miscommunication, struggling relationships, unrealistic expectations, not feeling worthy of love, or a delay. So if you see any of that coming up for you this week, just be aware of it, accept it, and then see if you can shift your perspective or the situation in some way to draw on the light side energy of the card. And that is community, love, soulmates, harmony in relationships and family, divine connections, heart opening and expansion, wholeness. And the affirmation to help with that is I live in a state of oneness by bringing harmony and love to my relationships. And another possibility here is that the shadow side could be about feeling the lack of a partnership, which is obviously is something I struggle with. I've talked about that. I have a whole special video about that for this week. Um, and for that, I mean, that's normal and that's natural. And I think for that, shifting shadow to light is about instead of feeling like this is a thing that I don't have, try to think about it in a way of this is a thing that's coming for me and sorry, and I'm grateful for what the divine and spirit and the universe have planned for me because it's going to be amazing. And I want to have it at the right time because that's what will make it successful and that's what will make it a good thing. And it's not a reason to be unhappy or to not enjoy everything that we have in our lives and not pursue our goals and things like that. You know, don't let it, it's okay to be waiting for something, but, you know, live your life to the fullest in that time of waiting. And honestly, that's the best thing you can do to bring it to you faster. Live life to your fullest and do the inner work that makes you ready for your divine counterpart when they show up. Next, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Good. Maybe I am getting some new earth energy in my life this week. I am ready to receive that. So, the Tarot of the Divine. Let's see what our story is. Jack and the Beanstalk, an English fairy tale from England. The Ace of Coins presents us with new beginnings, financial opportunities, and prosperity. The origin of this gift may be unexpected, like magical beans, but through nourishment and support, the benefits could be miraculous. It's time to make dreams a reality. And I love the Ace of Pentacles because it's always like a gift. It's always an offering, that like something being offered to you that's coming towards you. And moving right along to our oracles. The lesson of indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. Your soul is spirit manifest in this physical dimension. Even though you may feel limited by the constraints of your body, your connection to the infinite wisdom of the universe is always available to you in the form of intuition. You are never alone when making any decision. Spirit only wants the best for you, and by listening to your inner voice, you will always be guided to the proper outcome. All you have to do is ask. The expectation of others is only an illusion. You were not born to listen to fear. You were taught to listen to it. Visualize any decision in your life as a fork in the road. How does your body react when you imagine your travels down each path? At first glance, one may look easier to traverse, but the destination will cause anxiety and a heavy heart. Another path may be more difficult to walk, but the destination will feel light and calm. When you silence your mind and listen to your intuition, the signposts will always be obvious. I have two thoughts. One, that is an excellent card to go with the third eye and crown chakra. Second, there's actually two other groups where the topic of decisions in life came up, so I'll share my take on that. There's never really a right or wrong choice to make, so there's really no need to have anxiety about a choice. There's simply, which lesson do I want to learn and how am I going to learn it? And I mean, those aren't things we can necessarily be conscious of when we're making a choice. I'm just saying that ultimately what's going to happen is either path that you take, you're going to learn something. And the path you take just determines like the lesson you're going to learn and how you're going to learn it. And even if you end up taking a path that is away from your soul's path, that will become clear to you and you will be able to redirect toward your soul's path. And if it doesn't become clear to you, or if you don't redirect yourself, most of the time, life circumstances will redirect you toward your soul's path. So there's no reason to have anxiety about it. Listen to your intuition, do the best you can, and then learn from whatever comes on the path that you take. And at some point, if you realize you need to, redirect. Next, we have renewing your life. Radiant vitality is filling my life. Maybe that's telling me to unpack, because, like, that's not a thing that's happened. I'm surrounded by boxes. I have just, you know, as soon as I moved, I started working and I had a bunch of other things going on, and I have not had time to really unpack and organize like I want to. And then this whole awakening thing happened, and ever since, my creative energy has been running so freaking high, and it's like I can't even keep up with it. Like I'm having to keep a book of all the ideas that I get because I don't even know how long it's going to take me to get to all of them. And so my house looks like a storage unit. Like it's embarrassing. Which is all right because I never have anybody over. But like I don't want it to be this way. But there's just so many things I want to put my time into, and like not enough time for all the things. It is what it is. I'll get to all of it eventually. I do a little bit each day. It's a very small amount. But I figure eventually I'll finish, or it'll be time to move again, And I'll be glad that half my stuff is still in boxes because that'll reduce the workload. I figure unpacking slowly kind of mitigates like the risk of, it's like the longer I'm here, the more certain I can feel that I'm not going anywhere again. And so the more legitimate it is to like unpack another box. So it kind of, compensates for itself. Anyway, it's one way of looking at it. A powerful inner and outer renewal is occurring in your life. Purification is happening on many levels. Take your life to the next level by clutter clearing. And now I did a whole lot of that when I moved here because I had to, because there's not that much space here. And I was going from like a very large house to a very tiny living space. So I don't have things to get rid of at this point. I can at least say that. Release situations and people that don't empower you. Space clear your environment and eat lightly. In order for renewal to occur, the old needs to make way for the new. The universe wants you to know sometimes it's difficult for exciting experiences to come into your life if your auric field or your personal space is cluttered. There's simply no room for something new. When you purify your life, you create the space for new opportunities to come flooding in. If you have a sense that your auric field, your living space, or your body have become cluttered or dingy, this is the time to do some inner and outer cleaning. Questions for this week. Is there anything I need to purify or clear out of my life? Is there anything that needs to be renewed or re examined in my life? How can purification help me become a clearer channel for myself and others? Drink some water. Ooh, I'm almost out of water. Next, we have hold your vision. There are two main possibilities with this card. The first is that you need to stand firm in whatever situation you're in. The second, very different interpretation is that something is stuck. That could well be referring to the situation you're asking about. If that's the case, have a think about what you can do to grease the wheels so that events move forward. Are you being stubborn? If so, that's great, because if you really want things to change, there's a solution. Stop digging your heels in. Be the one to break a deadlock. With two interpretations for this card, it's up to you to decide what's going on and which meaning applies to you. This offers up a chance for some self-reflection. For Attuned to the Moon, it says, yes. Just say the word a lot and see how it feels. In astrology, there are three quadruplicities: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. The fixed signs can be stubborn, so anything that's just starting as you draw this card may well last longer. Remember, we each have all the star signs in our chart. It's just the way the astrological wheel works. So there's no judgment when we say that while it's admirable how much staying power the fixed signs have, they can also be obstinate. Then we have Frog Spirit Renewal. The spirit of the frog says, be willing to release any preconceived notions of how life should unfold. This is a time to be adaptable. Be willing to change. Abundance and good fortune will follow. And then our mini messages. First, our door. Forgive and forget. Here's the clutter to clear out. A ritual cleansing of pain and lies. Arise and awaken. See a new sunrise. There you go. Reassessment. Time to take another look at this situation. There are many possibilities. However, each possibility will lead you to the same outcome. You have nothing to lose. Which is just what I was talking about. Determination. Don't be afraid of the rising tide. It will soon recede. Ah, yay. Love. Love is in the air, a great time for commitment and taking relationships to the next level. I would love to have some love in my week. That would make me very happy. Intuition. Oh, our last chakra card, intuition. Intuition is the little tug that pulls you toward your light. And amethyst is the recommended stone this week, so you may want to wear that or have that around. So normally I would do a Rumi Oracle now, but I did a separate video for that because it was kind of special. It was a special, this week especially was the culmination of a few challenging weeks, and I'm kind of proud of my breakthrough. But it was a message that I think could be useful to enough people that I decided to put it in its own video, so that hopefully someday, if I have more people around watching videos, it'll stand out as its own message. So the last thing I'm going to do is the Lightworker's Oracle. And we have First Ray of Power, which is card 1 of this deck. And I'm going to put a link to this for the other groups also. So let me see if I can zoom in more on that. There we go. The first ray of power is energy of conscious destruction. It can be used in a healthy way to eliminate the past and allow for a fresh start. The first ray also carries the frequency of leadership. It can assist you to stand in the truth of your light so others can find their way by it. It helps to strengthen your willpower so you can accomplish any task you choose. The Ascended Master El Moria brings you his particular blessing and encourages you to believe in your own strength and take the initiative on what matters most to you. If you are confused about which path to take or whether to continue a certain relationship, course of action, or lifestyle choice, the first ray of power will clarify matters for you. When it moves through our lives, whatever is holding us back will be removed, either through circumstances seemingly beyond our own control or by our own actions based on a sudden inner knowing. When the first ray of power is indicated, a long-term plan that was once important to you may suddenly seem as though it needs to change or even be released altogether. It's kind of in my Rumi Oracle video, where you may suddenly get the motivation to go for something you have been dreaming of for a long time. Once this ray affects your life, your understanding of what is helpful and what is not can change overnight. The changes will feel very true, freeing, and helpful. Those people, dreams, and opportunities that remain in your life afterward have survived the onslaught of divine will. This means that the universe is confirming that they are meant to be part of your journey at this time. The first ray of power also relates to matters of leadership and politics. Be open as to how your spiritual journey might be helpful in the world of politics, whether that be through aligning yourself with a cause that resonates deeply in your heart, or through bringing a more open and discerning viewpoint into the often deceptive world of politics. Speaking your truth will be very helpful at this time, not only for you, but also for those around you who are willing to hear your voice and make their own choices from a clearer place within. Don't be afraid to be heard. If your life purpose involves either driving a meaningful political cause forward or assuming a position of leadership in some other way, you'll feel the truth of this and be given encouragement from the Ascended Master El Moria to trust yourself as a leader with heart and awareness. Finally, when this ray makes its way into your life, it is time to accept the loving gauntlet being thrown down by the universe and take your hands off the controls of your life. Detach and be curious. The universe will show you exactly what you need and remove what you do not. If something or someone is no longer a part of your life, it will be so that a more beautiful, truthful, and satisfying version of what you are surrendering can come into your world. Remember, the universe loves you and wants only the best and most beautiful life experience for you. Trust it enough to let that happen now. And it has an invocation. I now accept of my own free will the blessing and grace of the first ray of power in my life. Through unconditional love and divine mercy, I surrender my life into the loving hands of the universe to align me with higher will and the most beautiful expression of my life journey. I call upon the loving assistance of the genuine Ascended Master El Moria in all aspects of this process and ask that the first ray of power be expressed in ways that serve the greatest good on this planet, that all beings may walk their true divine path. Through divine grace, so be it. Let's see if I can get this to be legible. There you go. If you want to repeat the invocation, then you can pause the video and hopefully this is enough that you'll be able to read it. Okay. So there are our messages, Group 6. I hope you guys have a lovely week. And if any of this resonates for you, if any of it comes up during the week, please do leave a comment below. I love to hear people's stories. Until that next week's messages, remember that you have a beautiful and perfect soul and keep letting your light shine. I love all of you. Oh my gosh, my hand is huge. I just can't tolerate that. There, we'll zoom out. Bye.